Books presents an unabridged recording of Kindness Goes Unpunished by Craig Johnson, narrated by George Guidell and directed by Lynn Flanagan. This book is copyrighted 2007 by Craig Johnson. This recording is copyrighted 2007 by Recorded Books. The author opens this story with the following quotation from Steve Lopez, writing in the Philadelphia Inquirer on January 15, 1995. Philadelphia, where no good deed goes unpunished.
Chapter 1. I didn't wear my gun. They had said that it was going to be easy, and like the fool I am, I believed them. They said that if things got rough, to make sure I showed the pictures, of which there were only 23. I had already shown all of them twice. Long, long ago, there lived a king and queen. I looked around the room for a little backup, but there wasn't anyone there. They had said that I didn't have to worry, that they wouldn't leave me alone, but they had. Who didn't have any children. One day, the queen was visited by a wise fairy who told her, "You will have a lovely baby girl." The king was so overjoyed when he heard the news that he immediately made plans for a great feast. He invited not only his relatives, but also the 12 fairies who lived in the kingdom. "Where's your gun?" My thought exactly. I didn't think I was going to need it. They all nodded, but I wasn't particularly sure they agreed. "How long have you been a sheriff?" 23 years. It just seemed like a million. "Do you know Buffalo Bill?" Maybe it was a million. No, he was a little before my time. "My daddy says you're a butthole." I looked down at the battered book in my hands. Okay, maybe we should concentrate on today's story. "He says you used to drive around drunk all the time." The instigator in the front row looked like a little angel, but had a mouth like a stevedore. He was getting ready to say something else, so I cut him off by holding up Grimm's fairy tales open to the page where the young princess had been enchanted and put to sleep for 100 years. Why do you think the fairy visited the queen? A dark-haired girl with enormous eyes who sat in the third row slowly raised her hand. "You?" She cocked her head in disgust. "I told you my name is Anne." I nodded mine in contrition. "Right, Anne, why do you think the fairy visited the queen?" "Because their daughter is going to fall asleep." She said it slowly, with the hearty contempt even young people have for civil servants who can't get it right. "Well, yeah, but that happens later on because one of the fairies gets angry, right?" Anne raised her hand again, but I ignored her for a slight, red-headed boy in the back. His name was Rusty, and I quietly thanked the powers that be for a word association. "Rusty?" "My dad says that my Uncle Paul is a fairy." I'm not sure when it was that my storytelling abilities began to atrophy, but it must have been somewhere between Sesame Street and the Electric Company. I think I used to be pretty good at it, but that was a long time ago. I was going to have to ask my daughter if that really was the case. She was now the greatest legal mind of our time and a Philadelphia lawyer. When I had spoken to Katie last night, she had still been at the office library in the basement. I felt sorry for her till she told me the basement was on the 28th floor. My friend Henry Standing Bear said that the law library was where all the lawyers went to sleep at about $250 an hour. "You're the worstest storyteller we ever had." I looked down at another would-be literary critic who had been silent up till now and wondered if maybe I had made a mistake with Briar Rose. Katie had loved the story dearly at an earlier age, but the current enrollment appeared to be a little sophisticated for the material. "My daddy hides his medicine whenever anybody knocks on our door." I tried not to concentrate on this child's name. I propped the book back up on my knee and looked at all of them, the future of Absaroka County, Wyoming. He says he doesn't have a prescription. I was supposed to make the drive to Philadelphia tomorrow with Henry. He had received an invitation to lecture at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts with his Mennonite photograph collection in tow. I thought it would be an opportunity to visit my daughter and meet the lawyer who was the latest of her conquests. The relationship had lasted about 4
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.